Heyo, good evening to Omnibros Live. Getting closer to Halloween. Ow! So, we're talking Halloween, like Blackest Night, DC's really boss event about dead people rising from the grave. Uh-oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Mm.
I'm Omnidog, joined as always by Lou, Comics Guide. How you do, Lou?
Good, man. How's it going? Happy
Well,
Wednesday.
it was going fine until you told me you're having a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh my god, it's delicious.
Oh, I wish I had some right in front of me.
Mm. hmm
I
I
would be.
needed it today after doing jury duty.
Oh, you had to show up.
hmm
And what did you get called in or anything, or are you getting called back again tomorrow?
No, thank God. No. No. I perform my civic duty for the next 10 years, I hope.
You said yeah, you can't be kickity kickity.
No. So, um, basically, they split the jury pool in half, and they said, okay, you guys wait here, you guys wait here. After about 3 hours, they said, all right, you guys are done. You can go home. I'm like, what? They go, yeah, they've already picked everybody they need. I'm like, oh, okay.
And was that state or federal?
I think it's state.
Okay, so you're done for the rest of your life for state.
I hope so.
No, I think once you get called and you show up, because that's what happened to me with state back in like 2000, maybe 17.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be there Monday at 8 a.m. or whenever they want you to be there, and it was way out. It was an hour away, and 4/100ths of an inch of snow fell Monday morning.
Oh my God.
And it got called off, and they considered me done because I said I would come. So I didn't have to even show up. But that was state, and I think I can still get called for federal because we have the federal courthouse like right here.
Yeah.
So maybe there's not a federal courthouse jury thing in Florida. I know DC has like where major federal crimes are not in the district, but it's in Alexandria. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, getting out of jury duty isn't tough. So if you want to get out just a basic, yeah, I'm going to be biased against this person or against this, or I'm going to take the cop side or whatever. So jury duty is not, it's easy to get out of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to fucking do it, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. I don't think anybody wakes up and goes, yay, jury duty. You know?
When I was 24 in California, I got called for jury duty, and I actually liked doing it. I got picked, and I wanted to do it. It was about a drunk driving case, and I was interested. I was like, I wonder how this works. And I knew the judge. The judge was the father of my best friend growing up. And so I was like, hey, Judge Thomas, how's it going? And the prosecution was like, whoa, is this going to be an issue? I go, no. So I don't think so. But yeah, it took 3 days for this pretty simple drunk driving case. And there were 2 charges, and we found him not guilty of one and guilty of the other. And then I have no idea what the sentencing was after that.
Yeah, my wife got jury duty last month, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. She was on it was a civil case, right, sweetie? Yeah.
And did she go in saying, I'm ready to give birth right now?
She was actually kind of excited to go to jury duty.
Okay. Yeah.
She's the only person I've ever met that's excited for
it. If it wasn't for my life was so much simpler back then that it was easy for me to get to the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of parking. Took me 10 minutes to get there. But in Virginia, this one's an hour away. And I was not pleased at all. Yeah. So I was very happy.
It was half an hour away. I was back home by noon. And I got paid for the day through my job. So.
And did they compensate you like $15 for showing up for jury duty or something?
I get that check in the mail in like a few weeks.
How much was it?
$15.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $15. That's what they're gonna send me in the mail in a few weeks. Which, hey, that'll be lunch or something like that. I'll stop at Wawa or something and get lunch.
Oh yeah, and get a huge hoagie with a milkshake.
There you go.
Yeah, there. Okay, that was worth it.
You know?
So we got a lot of people in the chat. What's up, Hilaire Lionheart? Ateet is here. James is already doing the Green Lantern oath. Michael Collins says, hit that button. Oxmeat Pete, our buddy. Jesse say what was first. Outlaw Southpaw, what up? Massachusetts, we are called for jury duty every 3 years.
Jesus.
That's a reason to move.
Yeah, get out of there. Get out of that state.
Yeah, here's Sasmurf. Hiya, happy Wednesday. And we can talk about, I'm running the board, so let's see if I can figure it out. Where is?
Should be in there.
Just a sec.
There we go. Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
What? No. God, there's so much in here.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's kind of weird being God, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, here we go. InStockTrades.com, our fabulous sponsor, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. You just missed, although some people may have been able to take advantage of the 3% Omnibros discount that may or may not have been shut off at noon on Tuesday. And at the end of every month, which is Halloween, we will be giving away a $50 gift card courtesy of InStock Trades. Good for $50 card at InStockTrades.com. Fabulous customer service. Oh, and you can get free shipping if you order $50 or more in the United States. Now fabulous shipping, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Every time I bump my head, that's the sound I hear. Oh! Okay, here's Warren Weaver. How you doing, Warren?
Hey, Warren.
So,
yeah, I've been there. I bumped my head the other day on the dumpster. I had a big gash on my head.
Did you have to get it stitched up, or?
Yeah.
So, okay. So you were okay.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it healed up, but it scabbed pretty bad. It was a pretty good sized gash up here. But,
you really shouldn't be dumpster diving for food at this point in your life, Leo.
I know. But the thing is, if I don't, I'm kind of a stereotypical guy in this way. If I'm not dying, I'm not going to the hospital because I'm not. Even though I have health insurance, I'm still not going to pay the fee they want me to pay.
Yeah, I get it. I just went to the ER last week, so I have no problem going.
Yeah. But
everything turned out okay. So
thank God.
I'm fine. Everything was fine.
Good.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Blackest Night, the big event that kicked off I'll wait till Gabe gets here.
Okay.
So we don't.
Do you want to do kind of a preamble, kind of our general thoughts, and then we could do a deep dive?
Sure.
Until Gabe gets here?
I think Blackest Night was, if I recall correctly, and I did do a bit of research. First of all, reading Blackest Night made me want to go back and reread the Jeff Johns Green Lanterns Omni and the Green Lantern Corps books that I had custom bound. And you really need to read those two things together.
Yes.
That fills out the whole thing. I mean, of the Green Lantern run, that Green Lantern Corps, it alternates. You've got to have it with you. And you made the point in the chat, like it's found money for DC to print Green Lantern Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are 4 volumes, and you're really losing a lot if you don't read Green Lantern Corps with Jeff Johns' Green Lantern.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. I would agree. I think it's required reading. So I originally read this story probably about 10 years and years ago. And when I read it, I read everything. Green Lantern Corps, the tie-ins, I was obsessed. I wanted
Mhm.
to read everything that was with Green Lantern. I was reading all of it. I was picking up all the trades. I was picking up all the collected edition. I was nuts. I was reading absolutely everything. I think that for the most part, the only thing you really need to read to get majority of the context is Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corps, and the event books. So Sinestro Cold War, Blackest Night, that type of stuff, and you'll be pretty
Yeah.
good. Now, there are some other stuff in there that I think you'd be really missing out if you don't pick anything up. For example, if I remember correctly, I think there was a one-shot volume of Larfleeze, or a
Two
one-shot
shot, two trades.
two trades of
They're out
Larfleeze.
of print.
I would highly recommend if you could get your hands on them for whatever reason to pick those up. Mostly because Larfleeze is such a fucking fun character
He
that
really is.
I love everything about him.
Yeah, and then there's well, there was Sinestro Corps War, and then Larfleeze, and I think there was a that was the Lex Luthor thing with Superman where he wanted the black ring. I think that was around the same time too, and that's a really good series.
I don't remember that. I don't recall that.
Yeah, because he does show up and gets all the rings, but maybe that I feel like it was part of it. It's a great standalone 2-volume Superman thing with Lex Luthor in his big green suit wanting the black ring. Oh yeah, and Warren's right. Agent Orange was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, you've been waiting a long time, Cleveland Brown, because I think I had those bound in 2016.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's really weird that we still have not gotten that book, considering how intricately tied in it is to Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. Fingers crossed that with the announcement that they're basically scrapping everything and they're doing the Green Lantern Corps show and they're using not Guy Gardner, not Hal Jordan, John Stewart. That John Stewart is going to be the focal point. That we will be getting a set of collected editions of those core books, because I think they're pretty difficult to come by nowadays, right? A lot of those are probably out of print. If you want them physically, if you want to read them digitally, they're all on the DC Universe app.
This is the GL Core.
Yes.
I think the trades are out of print, but I don't think they're in high demand. So I think you can still get most of them. Well, I had to look for them even back in 2016 or 17, whenever I was collecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like Blackest Night was the first time the whole spectrum got pulled together, if I recall correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
We got bits and pieces of it, with the Guardians and Sinestro, Sinestro Corps War, and the Guardians authorized lethal force.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like but we had been introduced a little bit earlier to the various spectrums. No, wait. Because I feel like Atrocitus. No, well, we had to be. Okay, yeah, no, before. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking like starting at Green Lantern 18 when Star Sapphire showed up. Then it started like all the way up to about issue 35. It looked like when we see more of Atrocitus and Saint Vincent and whatever the other colors are, Compassion, or is that Saint Vincent? Love is a Starfact, whatever. There's a bunch of colors, and I feel like they really got pulled into Blackest Night,
Right.
And I, I'm going to be the nerdiest I've ever nerded tonight because reading this on my iPad, even though I have the GL books and I have Blackest Night custom bound.
Mm-hmm. That's very nice.
Yeah, Rage of the Red Lanterns was great too. This is interesting. I'm convinced GL Core is very niche. I have only seen praise from them on YouTube. People on forums seem to be indifferent towards it from what I have seen.
No, they're wrong. So
Yeah, I think back when I was reading it and I was talking to Lou, he was like, you have to read GL Core with it. And we talked to each other while I was going through it. And we were talking about how they complement each other and they really fill out the mythos and the story of everything. I feel that's a mistake to be indifferent towards GL Core. It's really essential, I feel like, to enjoy Jeff Johns' Green Lantern.
I actually maybe it's because this is how I read it originally years ago. I don't see myself reading. I don't see how you could read. I could see somebody just reading Jeff Johns' Green Lantern and being satisfied, but you are missing literally probably about 50% of the overall giant story that was being told at the time. Just because Jeff Johns was not writing Green Lantern Corps for the majority of it, I think it was Peter Tomasi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Tomasi, I believe, writing the majority of Green Lantern Corps.
Just because Johns was not writing it does not mean Johns was not spearheading a lot of everything that was going on. And you can feel his hand on everything Green Lantern at the time. Because you don't. So I'm going to make a comparison. Let's take Hawk's Box, right? Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run and stuff like that. Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run, I would argue, got way too out of hand, and it probably fell out of his control. And this isn't a slight against him. This is just kind of the nature of things and kind of the nature of how it went. It just got too big, and I think he lost control of it overall. Revisiting this now, I don't feel at all that this got out of control for Jeff Johns. I feel like he had kind of a tight rein on the majority of it, and he was able to bring it all in because this was his baby. This was his giant story. And who knows, it might have been editorial that they said, yeah, we trust you. We trust you to look at all these titles, make sure the Red Lantern book is good, make sure, the Agent Orange book is good, make sure that all these titles will eventually come in to Blackest Night and make sense. And the thing is, it does. The majority of the tie-in books that lead in, we're not even talking about Blackest Night. The majority of the tie-in books that lead into eventually Blackest Night work, and they are good.
That's a good point. That a lot of time in these events, I think they get with the big two. I think they get editorial interference and get kind of messy. Like Flashpoint got sort of messy. Even though I enjoyed Flashpoint for the most part, I understand its weaknesses. But yeah, all of Blackest Night and the tie-ins and everything, at the time I was reading it, I'm like you, I was into it. I loved all of them. I got them in reading order and I read them just boom straight through and I dug the heck out of it.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I don't want to say this yet, because I'm going to start fully geeking out when we start showing off some of the artwork.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had a couple questions. Let's see. Was Cullen Bunn Sinestro after Blackest Night? Yes.
Good series.
Those two Superman Deluxes came shortly after. Okay, good. And here's Jimmy Owens with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Hey, guys, can't stay long. A lot of personal things going on that require a lot of my attention. Sending love. Peace and love. Thank you for the super chat, Jimmy. That's awesome.
Love you, buddy. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is really awesome. If I haven't, here's Cleveland Brown. If I haven't already, I will get into GL Core because of Peter Tomasi. He made great runs like Batman and Robin, Superman, and Super Sons. Yeah, and GL Core, I think, is I've already said it's essential to helping with John's, but it's equal, I think.
Yeah.
It's really well run, and I think to your point, I think that John's maybe oversaw where that Green Lantern Corps run was going, and helped pull it in. Hey, here's our buddy Matt. What up, Matt?
What's up,
It's
buddy?
been a while.
Yeah, it needed somebody to, because it got so big. I mean, just look at some of these pages in Blackest Night, which Ivan Reese, we're going to talk about him later.
Oh,
The guy's a fucking animal. I don't know
wow.
how he put together some of this stuff, but you see some of these splash pages, and it's huge. Just it's crazy because I've been rereading this run, and I jumped ahead just to catch up for tonight, and it literally starts with probably 3 or 4 Green Lanterns and Sinestro, and that's it. And from there, it breaks out, and you see all these characters, all these different cores, and all these different colors and stuff like that. And you go, if you were reading it as obsessively as I was at the time, holy shit, I know that character, I know that character, I know the origin of that character, I know where this character came from. Wow, there's the cat. It's truly crazy. It's and what we're gonna. Okay, so I'm warning you right now. We're gonna gush about this for probably the next hour. When Gabe gets here, it's gonna be probably nonstop praise.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
For me, and I'm speaking for myself at this point, I don't think there has been an event that is as equal in scale and in just straight up pacing and just delivering what is promised that has met what this event has done, that what has met what this event did since then. You've got your stuff like Secret Wars is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love Jonathan Hickman. I love Secret Wars. It was great. It was fun. It was awesome. But to me, this is better. this is
Really? Okay.
This is a perfect event. I think this is an absolutely perfect event.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is great about people's opinions is that's your opinion, and I can't actually argue with it. I think it's my favorite DC event, and Secret Wars, the Jonathan Hickman one, is my favorite Marvel event. But you've read a lot of comics, so that's a pretty big statement that this is like the perfect event.
I think going back and rereading just Blackest Night, and just how much fun I had it. And mind you, I've just read the core issues this time.
Same.
I didn't go and read the tie-ins and all this stuff. I just wanted to get that mindset of what would it be like if I just read the core issues. And I think for the most part, you could read just the core Blackest Night title and you'll have an awesome time.
Yeah.
It's fun. You'll be missing out, but for the most part, you'll get the story. And I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much.
Here's T-Lar Bloom. Who are these guys here talking about comics? I'm here for serial talk. He was just having a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, T-Lar. Right in my face.
Sorry.
N-Man with a good comment. I know people complain that Blackest Night Omnibus is too big, but what would you cut from that? I think it's nice the way it is.
I don't know.
I don't have that Omni because, I've got 5 volumes or 4 volumes of it. So I don't know what you would cut from it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Craig, yes. I guess this is the best place to ask if I should read Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, but I think I know the answer. And if you can read Green Lantern Corps alongside it by Tomasi.
Yes.
You'll get the best experience that way. And I'm not going to lie to you. Green Lantern Corps is a lot of material.
Yes, it is.
It's a big chunk. And the trades, I think, they're out of print, but I don't think they're in high demand. As N-Man 40 said earlier, they seem to be a niche product, which I don't understand, but you can read Jeff Johns' GL without it, but it'd be a whole heck of a lot more fun if you read GL Core with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's Outlaw Southpaw rubbing in something in my face. I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavor protein powder. What do you mix it into milk, or do you put it into a smoothie? How do you use it, Outlaw Southpaw? Now I'm interested. Are those out of print? I don't think those are out of print. I think those are evergreen. The Johns. The big trades, not the omnis. I don't know anything about the big trades. Okay, yeah, I'm caught up. Yeah, where I'm gonna geek out and be the big fanboy and lose my shit is when we show those splash pages you were talking about.
Beautiful.
Because sometimes it's splash page and another splash page of Ivan Rice art, which is superb, and he can fit in almost as many characters as George Perez could, which is like the highest compliment I could give it, and still make them visible and important and exciting. That is where I'm going to fully geek out at these heroes coming to the rescue at various points with various people.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, you snort it. Okay, cool. Or you smoke it.
It's truly interesting. It's truly interesting. It's challenging as hell. And I think George Perez is actually an apt description for this. This dude must come from the school of George Perez, because it's so difficult to fit in a panel probably this size, probably 10 to 15 characters, and make it dynamic, make it make sense, and make it look awesome at the same time. That's really tough. So
yeah,
I don't know how he did it, and I'm curious as to what the release schedule was for this title. If it was monthly, if it was every other month, because if he did this monthly, how long of a head start did he get? Is what I want to know.
Imagine if he's fast and that good. That would be crazy. Like if he just kept up with the schedule. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think he's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did do the Aquaman run.
So what was my next point? The art and okay, art writing for the GL Core. Okay. So I think we've set it up pretty well for Gabe to come in and talk over us.
Final spoiler-free thoughts, because I know Gabe will be here in a minute.
I got chills at some of the panels.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I forgot, this is legit, how scared I was with the first issue. I was just reading the first issue of Blackest Night. I thought, how are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah.
I mean, I just, and the way it actually happened, I'm not allowed to spoil it. Well, I already said they pulled all the spectrums in. That helped and made it even more exciting, because at the time I hadn't read a lot of Green Lantern since I gave up at Parallax and he gets thrown in jail for drunk driving or whatever. I was like, okay, I'm done with Green Lantern. A girl that I knew told me that there were like violet rings and purple rings and red rings. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I had to start reading it and I was like, because of course I was old school at the time. There's only one Green Lantern ring and I don't even know who Kyle Rayner is. And I was legit. I am aware that these characters aren't real, but that's how good the writing is, that I was legit afraid how they were going to get out of this just reading it from the first issue itself, because it seemed unsolvable. Like, how are you going to fix all these dead people rising up that weren't even just rising up, but they had black rings and the rings were powering them? and I was like, who the hell's Black Rain? Where's this coming from? And these other colors, what how are they going to solve this? So that's what I love about comic books, is that first issue could freak me out so much and suck me into wanting to know, how are Flash and Green Lantern going to solve this? The two of them, and Mira gets turned into a Red Lantern, and Wonder Woman gets turned into Star Sapphire.
Yep.
I'm totally spoiling it. Sorry, but I mean, those are two action figures I had to get. And they're not really action figures; they're fancier. They stand up, and I leave them alone. And then there's dead man in it who's already dead, and his dead ghost gets a black ring, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I think what's really cool about this is that for the most part, the big guns, your Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, they take second fiddle. Yep. They're not in this that much. They pop up here and there to help out, but the really big focus, and in many ways, what surprised me upon rereading this, and I forgot about this, is that this is Barry's book.
Yeah,
Blackest Night is a Barry book. It's Barry Allen for a good chunk of this. Hal is in it as well, but you can argue that the time is split between Barry and Hal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Barry even pops up more than Hal in this book.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think they shared, since they were working together.
Yeah.
They were, I think, featured equally, but it still boggled my mind that the two of them were basically it.
Yeah. And Mara also has a huge
yeah.
Mira's great in this.
Mira's fierce. And here's Gabe. How's it going, buddy?
What up, everybody? Welcome. Thank you for having me on. Talking about Blackest Night. So let me, because I didn't watch what you guys had talked about. So let me.
We just sort of set it up.
Okay. I think we all read it in different formats and different timelines, right? Did we all follow a different kind of path for reading these books?
So for me, I read the whole thing years ago. Like tie-ins, every single time that was available, the Red Lamp, all that crap. I read everything leading to Blackest Night. For just this specific thing, I started it again, but I ran short on time, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna read Blackest Night, the core Blackest Night event for this time."
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I read it as it was. I didn't read it as it was coming out. I would wait till my stack got like that, and then just read a huge chunk of it. And then by the time I went back to the LCS, there was another chunk in my box. So
those things are coming out like super regular. Like there was all kinds of tie-ins and everything for this year. I meant for this recent reread that we did. How did you read it? I read just Green Lantern and just Blackest Night. Those are the issues I was following back and forth.
Same. Yeah, I just read the event, and then I went back, like you suggested, to get some info, because I had forgotten when the emotional spectrum was introduced and what led to it.
Mm-hmm.
And which shows you how much foresight went into Blackest Night, because the Guardians were worried about Blackest Night back in GL 18 through 25, and where we got and then up to 35, where we got introduced to Atrocitus and so forth. So there was, now that I think about it, not only was Blackest Night and Green Lantern Corps like up on the board with, string going all over the place, but so were those early Green Lantern issues that you reminded me about that led right up to it.
Yeah, because that's what kind of started this. Is I'm doing a reread of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. So I got the trade paperbacks. I have, I'm on like, that's kind of what started this, but I read all the way up. I'm about to start Sinestro Corps War, because I have the first 2 trade paperbacks. I finished those, and that was the one with the emotional spectrum. That was issue 20 when it had all of the lanterns show up for like the first time.
Right.
But then the Star Sapphires had all that. But now I'm going to start getting into Sinestro Corps War. And this is the era where I kind of fell off of it. So I'm going to really be reading a lot of this stuff for the first time. I fell off of it for a while. And then it was Blackest Night that just skyrocketed this book. It was the hottest book at the time. So I was reading it immensely, all the issues and everything like that. And it was first coming out too.
Were you working at a shop back then, Gabe? When Blackest
No, I wasn't. But there was this shop that I found, and they were having a release party for Blackest Night #1. Like it was a legit like party. Like it had like food and drinks, and I brought like a 12-pack of beer with me. Like it was an actual like legit kind of party. I did end up working for that comic book company for a couple of years after that, though. So coincidentally,
there is Craig. The event also takes place after a major death. I assume they make an adapt in this. Yes, they do.
Yeah, but this whole Blackest Night thing, I think, to what Jess was saying, I think Jeff Johns had it planned out even before, like those early issues. Like
he hints at it right from the beginning.
Oh yeah, I think there's even stuff like because I recently reread Rebirth, and wow, that's an incredible book. Yeah. But I think they even, I don't know if they meant it, but there's things in there that now, looking at it, in the future, and you go back and you look at it, you go, I think, are they talking about Blackest Night here, or is this just some other kind of common language that's kind of related to Blackest Night, right? So I think even from the get, I think Jeff Johns just had like 5 years and a major event like mapped out, like completely all the way through. Like this isn't something that he just kind of stumbled upon and just was flying by the seat of his pants and just making it happen. This was planned out. Like this is what brought Green Lantern back, at least in my sphere of influence or my sphere of perspective, into being a major player character again. Like this is an essential run.
Yeah,
I talked about it here on the show a few times, Jess. And I thought this is like basically the only good run, like important, essential, like top tier run of Green Lantern. And then somebody reminded me about the Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil stuff. But that was a handful of issues. This is like 60 issues plus, completely mapped out. Like, and like since I've been rereading it, it sticks all the way through. Like every issue lands for the most part. Everything, and if they're quick, there's a lot of like 2-issue, 1-issue story arcs, 3-issue story arcs sometimes. Really, really quick, fun reads. But it's just fantastic all the way through. And all of the stories are going somewhere, and there's hints and things about Blackest Night from even there. So it's just an incredible era of Green Lantern for sure.
Rodimus is asking me, since I'm the leading Hispanic authority on comics, to pronounce some Spanish. So, buenas noches, Omni hermanos. La noche más oscura es tremenda historia. Ahora el día más brillante, tremenda caca. What did I just say? I mean, I know, but I asked Lou to, translate. So
good evening. Thank you, Jess. Good evening. Good evening, our Omnibros. The Darkest Night is a huge historical event, but Brightest Day is a big piece of shit.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. There you go.
Dia más brillante.
Amazing.
Now, Comic
Thank you for that.
Says he likes Sinestro Corps War better, and Cleveland Brown agrees with him, which is good for you guys because we love both of them too.
I haven't read Sinestro Corps War.
Oh, well, you're going to get to it.
I know. I'm waiting for it.
And read those 2 Larfleeze books. Those are so fun.
That's what I'm missing. I heard Lou talk about it earlier, that one shot. I think I'm missing that one, that Larfleeze Christmas special or something.
Oh, which one was Agent Orange?
Oh my God, the Larfleeze Christmas special.
Yes. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculous. And I need to find a copy of it. Last time I checked, it was a pretty pricey book. Like, not like $100, but it was like a $30 book.
Oh my God.
Like that.
So, okay, for those of you that don't know, so Larfleeze is the single Orange Lantern, and his thing is all about greed. He's obsessed with collecting stuff. He just wants everything.
He
And
wants everything.
yeah, he wants to be the one that owns everything. And he finds out that there's this being called Santa Claus that goes around and gives gifts to people. And hilarity ensues after that. It's such a great story.
He is an extremely funny character.
He's great. Yeah. I think he's one of John's. I think I've heard he's one of John's favorite characters to write. I
can see why. He's so childlike and greedy, you know. Craig, I would say Brightest Day. Oh, wait, I'll highlight you in a sec. Brightest Day. I think it's considered. I have it collected at comic in custom bound because I had all the issues. I don't even know if I'm going to reread it. I don't think it's important to you and your dollars or pounds, whatever you spend. I forget.
Yeah, honestly, just look up one of the videos by one of those jackasses that spoil books, and you'll be fine. They'll tell you everything you need to know about Brightest Day.
It's not worth tracking down the books and reading it, but it's worth a Wikipedia read.
Yeah.
Go that route. So that's Larfleeze.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't been initiated with Blackest Night, this is they're saying the sole Orange Lantern who just collects everything. He's just greedy. Like his catchphrase is mine. It's always like mine. I want it. Mine. And he's a very kind of creepy, scary, looking character, but he's very Looney Tunes.
Like, and he has like an orange. He has like an orange little bug that follows him everywhere.
Yeah, because there's no other Orange Lanterns. The only other Orange Lanterns are just the constructs that he makes himself. He doesn't have to share anything.
Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas? Orange Lantern Larfleeze wants everything, including Santa Claus, and nothing, not even in the Heroes of the DCU, can stop Larfleeze getting what he wants. I thought you spent pounds. I think I remembered you were from Great Britain.
But he also said that he's now convinced to buy the omnibuses.
Yes, which is always the greatest thing for me, talking Craig Stewart into buying books. Even just listening to you guys talk about this event for 5 minutes has me sold on the books. You cannot go wrong reading Green Lantern by Jeff Johns. Even if you read it without Green Lantern Corps, it's still a great read. But if you can, I don't know, get Green Lantern Corps through the DC app, which is how I've been reading it, and that app is awesome now.
Yes, it is.
Jim Lee is to be commended because I know that's what he's been working on really heavily. They owe me $79, and I will take that up with them because I upgraded the other day, and after I renewed, then they came out with Ultra, so I subscribed to that, and I'm like, hey, where's my refund? I need more than
the upgrade because you had to pay
refund I got.
You had to pay for Ultra like up front, right? Had to pay the full $100.
Yeah, it's $20 more than annual, which is what I signed up for. Rodimus says, agrees with you guys. That Green Lantern Rebirth is just a work of art.
Yeah, that entire book is just Jeff Johns going, I'm tired of Kyle. I'm bringing Hal Jordan back. And he doesn't really retcon anything. Like everything still happens, and because when Kyle Rayner shows up, like Hal Jordan went nuts and then like killed all the Green Lanterns, like all thousands of the Green Lanterns, killed all the Guardians. Spoilers. Well, that's all actually kind of pans into this a little bit, really. It all turns into him just taking out everybody, and then he turns into the Spectre. So it's all a part of this as well.
Well, that was during the time period that they wanted to make all these characters edgy, and they saw how well the reaction was to Superman basically dying. Like, well, let's do kind of the same thing with Batman. We're going to have Batman's back broken. We're going to turn Hal Jordan into a mass murderer.
Jeez. Craig just said, also, I finally got Once and Future book one. Jess, you got me again. Yes! Yeah, the app is the best way to read that, probably. So, trying to find some of those splash pages that we were talking about. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah, that one's great.
What do you guys say we just jump right into spoilers? Huh?
Yeah, just talk about it. But yeah, the art in this is fantastic, dude.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So I am confident in saying I think Ivan Reis is my favorite Green Lantern artist of all time. I'm fairly confident in saying that.
That's interesting. To me, I'm gonna counter that.
Okay.
I think he's my least favorite of this era or
Really?
this run, because this run had fantastic artists.
Yes, it does.
Like
Yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver, Carlos Pacheco,
Mhm.
Ivan Reis, the Blackest Night era that was done by Doug Monkey, and God, I think I was saying it was Ethan Van Sciver was my favorite Green Lantern artist,
Mhm.
but after reading through this stuff, I think it might be Doug Monkey, because Ivan Reis is Ivan Reis is a great storyteller, but
Mhm.
it's too dark for me. Like he uses it almost feels like a crutch, because there's so many dark areas and dark, hidden, because it's all just a dark, scary Blackest Night series. A lot of it's dark to me. It's a little too dark, a little too like sketchy, with the line work. But
Mhm.
Doug Monkey on these Green Lantern issues during this time is disgusting. He's great.
fantastic.
Oh
No,
my god,
he's
I didn't
fantastic.
realize how good he was. I don't think I've read anything from Doug Monkey since he did Major Bummer, and that's a different Doug Monkey than this one.
I'm going to show the first image that made the hair on my arm stand up. I geeked out so hard at it. It was
I like that. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Bart and Barry as these superheroes come to the rescue for the minute. And then I'm going to find the splash pages that Lou and I were talking about. But the art is crazy good in this. It is dark. Here's Atrocitus.
I'll say this about Ivan Reis now that we're looking through this. He draws iconic characters and poses. It's iconic poses and stuff like that. It's not my favorite, but those are stuff like that. That's iconic. Those are some really great iconic looking images. It's just dark for me, but man, that's
his Sinestro is my
great
favorite
stuff,
version of
though.
Sinestro. And this isn't taking anything away from Van Sciver, who I think is actually a very good artist.
Mm-hmm.
I think Van Sciver draws his head, just for my taste, Sinestro's head just a little bit too big. Because I get Sinestro's supposed to have that large dome, but it's almost comically big for my taste.
Like Hector Hammond.
Yeah. And I think Ivan Reis, I never know how to pronounce it correctly. Ivan Reis, he strikes a good balance with it for me.
I'm still looking for the splash pages, but
like here's some Doug Monkey art talking about like Sinestro.
He's fantastic.
Dude,
I don't think he gets enough credit for the work he did on this run.
I don't think. No, I believe I agree, because I forgot he did these issues, and these are key issues into the Blackest Night series. They're fantastic issues. It's not very heavy based, but these are like the more exposition, moving the characters around, the pieces on the board around to get them to, like the Blackest Night finale. But it's important stuff. He just has he's a great artist, dude. And he does really great splash pages here as well. See if I can find some stuff in here. But he just, this Atrocitus is great.
Can I say, I forgot. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I forgot this run kicks off with the death of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the chat for a minute. That there's a lot of dead characters, because I was never a big DC guy, until like Green Lantern came around and stuff like that, with like this Green Lantern run. So I didn't realize that this era was so many dead heroes already, like big names.
Yeah.
Like Aquaman's dead. I'm like, really? Aquaman was dead at this time? Like, and then just how many characters had, and this is right after what's our favorite book here that we have? Yeah, that's beautiful too.
Look at that. Look at all those characters in there coming to the rescue. This is incredible art.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great that you have it on the iPad. You don't get that seam in the middle when you have it like in a comic book.
Good point.
I love my
screenshot that, making wallpapers.
I love my iPad. I have that the biggest
Yeah.
one, the 11-inch one, and it's just comics on it look amazing.
But yeah, so there's so many dead characters going on here at the time, and then like you said, Lou, we lose Hawker and Hawkman like immediately, like
Mhm.
right off the bat. This is all right after Identity Crisis. So you got like Elastic Man is dead.
Yep.
His wife,
his wife gets
wife,
resurrected
yeah.
with
After
him.
Yeah. A Guardian
Um,
eats a guy. A Guardian
yeah.
ripped the guy's throat out with his mouth. I forgot about that. I was like, oh shit, that's right.
But it's great stuff. Or even if you read it from like the beginning, like if you read it, I started off with Green Lantern, and it's that Black Hand issue, that Black Hand like solo issue.
Yeah.
Oh, that is creepy, nasty stuff.
Here's the 2 splash pages back to back on the iPad with resurrected Hawk Martian Manhunter is also resurrected, and here's all the other people. Dead Man like becomes alive again, which is amazing.
Aquaman was doing crunches in his grave. Motherfucker came back jacked as fuck.
So I think it's safe to say that Jeff Johns just basically recreated the entire DC universe, or kind of set it back on course with bringing back all these characters and touching on why is there so many characters who die and they just keep resurrecting, so it's a very meta storyline as well. Because you have, it's like, oh yeah, Dr. Light was dead. I forgot about Dr. Light dying.
So
and then just characters who just died in general, like Superman died, Green Arrow died, Hal Jordan died, and that's a big piece about this as well.
It's really cool because he tackles the concept of why do all these superheroes keep dying and fucking coming back? And I firmly believe this was maybe the new edict of DC Comics going forward after this event, because one of the characters asked towards the end, one of the characters says, no, dead is dead now. Like, once you're dead, this is it. And it's like, all right, yeah, it's fucking comics. And DC probably did away with that for like a month after that. But I think that was kind of the big idea at the time. Okay, we've dealt with literally the incarnation of death. We have dealt with the concept of all these characters coming back and dying over and over again. Moving forward, dead is dead, and this is it. But,
Rodimus makes a good observation. Johns made DC readable again because it affected every comic and made it more interesting. The Green Lantern and the Blackest Night stuff.
How cool is Necron for a villain?
I dig Black Hand too.
Black Hand's really
Black Hand scares me, dude. That guy bothers me. He's so
totally
creepy. Yeah.
I was telling Lou before you got on that the first issue, when we see Black Hand send out all the black rings, and all the dead heroes come up from the grave, I was like, how are they going to get out of this? It's just Flash and Green Lantern and everybody else is dead, and there's a Sinestro Corps war going on at the same time. What?
Yeah. This is an epic, just overwhelming, unbreathable period of time. Like you said, everything was going on at once, and then this huge event was going on too.
Yeah, and it pulled in all these spectrums had to work together to wait. Why is it? Oh, there we go. I forgot it was my iPad. I mean, this is an amazing picture just right here. All of them attacking at once with their various spectrum rings.
And Necron is just like some one-off random alien character from like the early 80s Green Lantern stuff or something like that. Like, he was such a forgotten character, and he brought him back and made him this huge epic monster for this run. It's like the new Anti-Monitor.
Let's see. N-Man says, DC recently added more of the Kyle Rayner issues on DC Infinite. I believe all of them are there. Unfortunately, post-Crisis 1 through 47 are not there. To that, I will say, I think you just have to wait a little bit, because 6 months ago, I was not going to renew my DC Infinite subscription. And now with Ultra, with the unlocked issues that I can read up to a month at a time. I've consumed so much DC this week just on the iPad.
Yeah.
There's so much available now, and to N-Man's point, I think that Jim Lee has just gotten the green light now and is just pouring issues into this app because there's way more here than there was 6 months ago.
Plus, issue 47 is when the series gets good, anyways. Or 48, I should say.
Fully admit I have read very little Kyle Rayner, although the fridge is referenced in this.
It is. Recreate it. Yeah.
And you get a quick glimpse of a foot like upside down in the corner of the fridge. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing too. I don't know if you guys touched on this though, but this is more than just heroes punching zombies and stuff like that. Yeah. It is very like character driven. This is a very character driven story. Like there is some character development. There is a lot of existential isms with this, a lot of internal stuff. Like every character is going through therapy, and they all like even like Atrocitus like breaks down at one point. They all really get in. They all get in touch with their feelings. But that's what this is all really about. It is about emotions and how to control emotions and things like that. But just every character, every core member, stuff like that that's involved gets like a moment or gets some kind of really progression with who they are as characters by dealing with, their loved ones coming back from the dead and trying to kill them and seeing their new friends die and things like that. So it's more than just flashing lights and punching zombies. It's really like an exploration of all these characters. I do feel I got a better understanding of even characters I didn't care about, like the Atom, so it's really cool. And that's funny too, real quick about the Atom. This storyline is super outdated. In just the idea, everything else is fantastic except for this one nitpick, is how the Atom continues to just travel through the world through telephone lines.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's a telephone line?
Well, I think they traveled through fiber optics because he told Mira to keep her eyes open.
Right. But it was still like dial up cords and stuff.
Yeah, he's still going through the phone dial. Just real quick, Rodimus said, I did not even know Rayner was Latino until a year ago. That's because he wasn't on a cover of a comic holding a bag of tamales. That's the giveaway.
Yeah. With
the Mexican flag behind him.
There are a lot. There's so many cool moments in this, just this story alone, and there's so many different revelations. You find out what the origin of the Black Lantern is, the actual Black Lantern, why they're all so obsessed with Earth, and where the concept of the White Lantern comes up. And you find out the Guardians were fucking lying to everybody that the start of the universe was not on their home planet. They used that to their advantage so that they could become basically the guardians of the universe. They were lying the whole time.
How they rip pages out of their Bible, essentially, to kind of change the translations of things. Yeah.
Yep. I fucking love the moment where things are so bleak, so fucking dour. The Ganthus said, in times of extreme moments during the Blackest Night, I am giving you guys this ability where you will be able to deputize for 24 hours different people to become lanterns. And it's not just the Green Lantern, it's all of them. Because all the rings, he explains that all the rings were come from Oa. So because of that, I have this ability to allow you guys to deputize everybody. So you start seeing rings start multiplying, and you've got characters that pop up. Yeah, like the Flash, he becomes part of the Blue Lanterns. There's the Indigo Lanterns. I love the fact that Lex Luthor becomes an Orange Lantern because it's such a fucking perfect fit. And Lex Luthor almost fucks it up for everybody. At the end of it, he almost fucks up the whole thing for everybody because he tries to collect everybody else's ring because of his greed. It's so great.
And as growing up as a kid reading Silver Age Green Lantern, the Guardians were perfect. They were like the perfect beings, and they could do no wrong. They were infallible. And then I start reading where not are they fallible, but they're as you say, they're freaking liars, and they've coveted things. They've seen things that they don't want to happen, so they cover it up. They are super imperfect, and I think Ganthet, or I don't know, somebody says that the origin of emotions came from Earth, and that's why it's always been the focal point of the Guardians universe. I think that's what he said. That's why that's where the emotions all come from. And I it took me a second to get used to the fact that the Guardians were fallible, being a Silver Age kid, but it makes the story so much more interesting.
I mean, it's not so stale anymore about it. Yeah,
exactly. And you're right, Gabe. It's not just punch outs. It's not just punching zombies. They are, doing time travel with Flash 2 seconds into the future and trying to figure things out. And you're right. Every character does get a moment, and it's as Lou said, it's like a Flash and Hal book, since they're you don't see much of Superman. Batman is still dead, even though they use his skull to power the Black Rings or Necron or whatever they did.
Wasn't even the real Batman.
Yeah, right. It was, exactly.
That was the worst part, is that how that got like retconned, or just it was such a big focal point. It's like, that's not even the real Batman. That was a clone. Good job. But I'm still, one of the coolest moments though was like zombie Batman coming back. That was another just great moment where like that just triggered everybody, and that was got them all attached, and that's what made them able to be turned into the Black Lantern. So you got like Black Lantern, Wonder Woman, Black Lantern, Superman, like all these characters. And again, as a part of the history of DC, all these characters have been dead at one point and came back. Like Superman and everything like that. So.
And they make that point in the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I think this was part of Sinestro's attack on Earth, when Scarecrow says he's become immune to his own fear potion, and the only thing that he's scared of is Batman, and so he's running around in his element, where Sinestro's creating all this fear, and he's frustrated that he can't get scared like he wants to because Batman's dead, and he's like, Batman's the only thing I fear. And I thought that was a great Scarecrow moment.
Yeah. It's a character driven story. It was a really good look at the DC universe at that time and where they wanted to go. Like he was Jeff Johns was really pulling the strings on DC and where they were going and everything for a while. Like, he was their creative director. Like, he got way up there after all this kind of stuff, corporate level. But he was just really laying down some actual foundation, some real changes with real consequences and real things that progressed forward.
How creepy is the ending to this whole story when you see what ends up happening to the Black Hand and what his ultimate outcome is? And so we should probably also address this. As you're reading the story, the back issue, the very end of every issue has these walls of prose text. They're not that long, but they're Black Hand's journal. So you're getting more context of who Black Hand is, what his mindset is, and stuff like that. And when you get to the very last issue, we're deep into spoilers at this point, but
yeah, you can go ahead.
He's captured by, is it the Violet or Indigo?
I think Indigo.
He's captured by the Indigo Lanterns. He's chained up, and they're escorting him around, and he's just basically brain dead. And the final journal entry is literally written in his language, except for probably like the last 2 or 3 lines where it says his name, and he says, "Help me, help me." He's basically a prisoner in his own mind, and it is, it's kind of terrifying.
And there were no deaths. Like Hank Henshaw made a deal with Necron, I guess, to finally kill him. And you see his they tried to kill him, and you see his face, like his head floating through space.
Mm-hmm.
Even Necron can't kill this guy, and he desperately wants to die. Superboy Prime, or who's they try to kill him, and he's off in some other dimension plotting his revenge. So those guys don't die, even though Hank Henshaw wanted to die. So Lou made the point that Dead is dead from now on, even though New 52 came right after this, and messed up some of the stuff. But yeah, Johns isn't there anymore, so I don't know if Dead is still dead. But for that time period, it was.
Yeah. And then I even forgot that Martian Manhunter was dead during this too.
Yeah.
There's so many characters that were just dead there, and so they had to just kind of fix all of this. It was a big fix, but it didn't feel like a big fix. Like, it was enjoyable. It wasn't just felt like, oh, this is one of these things that corporate put together because they wanted, coincide this with a movie or whatever kind of weird nonsense. But there was an idea of like, we're going to make this change us going forward, and Jeff Johns was in charge of all of that as well.
And this
go ahead.
We've said it before, and Gabe pointed it out. He went to a late night launch of this. This was huge.
Oh yeah,
this was everywhere. This was in. It's one of those things where it was even in mainstream pop culture. You saw those Black Lantern shirts everywhere. You saw Red Lantern shirts, Yellow Lantern shirts, Green Lantern. You saw them absolutely everywhere. People were buying the rings. People were wearing them and stuff like that.
I have the rings still.
Yeah, dude, it was a real big fucking thing. And
they had a toy line already ready to go by the time that this series was like halfway through. Like, there was already ads in the comics for Blackest Night action figures.
Oh, well, here's a compliment from Oxmeat Pete. I'm really enjoying your discussion, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
This is a good question because I actually wasn't clear on it too. Who is Cyborg Superman boss of? I think he was the boss of the Manhunters. From what
Manhunters.
Yeah. And Rodimus is finishing my favorite Justice League run, and that is the New 52 run. Dude, it is such a good run.
It's fun.
I love that Jeff Johns run. It's awesome.
I keep hearing good things about his Image book. I keep hearing fantastic things about those books he's got in Image right now.
One of them got picked up for a film or something.
Do you remember the name of it?
Geiger?
Oh, Geiger. Geiger.
Yeah. He's got 2 books out right now. Geiger and Junkyard Joe, I think, is the other one.
Yeah.
And it's all part of one shared universe he's building.
Yeah. Okay. I'll wait for them to come out in some deluxe hardcover 3 years from now. So, any finishing thoughts? Gabe, where do you feel you would rank this amongst events that you've read? Like top 5, top 10, your favorite? What's better than it is?
You mean just events in general, overall?
Yeah, with Marvel events, DC events, just event books from the big 2.
This might be a recency bias kind of feel, but I'm going to say probably top 3.
Top 3, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what would be better than it, but I'm trying to maybe like something like Age of Apocalypse or something like that, or I don't know. I can't really think that's
Hickman's Secret Wars. Did you like that?
Yeah, but I think this is better than that because of the characters involved. Like, again, with the character drama and things like that. And same as with Secret Wars, there's a lot to read. You can really go back and really read into it, but you don't need to. Secret Wars, you have to read all of Hickman's Avengers, and that's a massive commitment. Like, I know I just recently did that. That's a huge commitment. But like with this, you could jump right in at Blackest Night or like Green Lantern 45 or whatever it was, and be right in it. Jeff Johns does a good job of really keeping you introduced to it. So I think that's what really kind of makes that better than that. Might even be Jesus, man. Maybe one or two now that I keep talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gets better the more you think about it.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland Brown says I need to finish reading Sinestro Corps first and see what happens. See if I rank him up.
Real question is read the main story or go full steam ahead with the Blackest Night Omni?
Main story.
You don't need the Blackest Night Omni with all the tie-ins and stuff like that. It's a lot of.
See,
that's better to just like read those online or do like a Wikipedia like burn through on them or something like that.
I think the tie-ins are good. I think they'll flesh out more of the story, but I think you'll be fine with just the main story. Unless you want to invest in the tie-ins and you want to get the full story, then yeah.
Yeah, if you feel like you need every single detail and where Superman was this entire time, and now I got led up into that part and how these things split off. If you're that person, then yeah, definitely go for the Omni and stuff like that. But if you just want to read the story and understand like what we were saying and be, have that kind of feeling with it, then you can just read the main story. It's just that the Green Lantern issues that are involved, and I haven't read these, but I know you guys are saying it too. Also, the not the Sinestro Corps, excuse me, the Green Lantern Corps books.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are like the 3 books you're going to want to kind of bounce back around between, or 4 counting Blackest Night.
I just read the book and I've already forgotten this. How was Black Lantern formed? His creation? I forget already.
What do you guys think about how the Black Lantern was formed?
Like creation, Warren says. I've forgotten that. I don't.
Is it the situation involving Necron and be more specific? Like what is it? The origin of Necron, the whole situation involving the Guardians and them lying, because there's a lot there to that backstory.
Now,
What you talking about when the Black Lantern comes out of the ground creation?
Oh, the Anti-Monitor thing?
How the Anti-Monitor was basically trapped inside the Black Lantern, and he was the power source of it.
Okay, yeah. He was the actual battery. Yeah, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about how Black Hand... no, it's not your fault, Warren. That was a good question. I thought you were talking about Black Hand for a sec. Now I understand. I thought that was a cool twist.
Yeah, that's a revelation you get at the very, very end of the story. And I don't remember if Jeff Johns did anything with that in Brightest Day or not, but he kind of just shows up. He's there for about 2 or 3 pages, and then he pisses off because that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I think the Guardians try to do something to him, and he goes back to Quard or whatever. I don't remember. Yeah. Because the very end of the book is when they get rid of Superman, Superboy Prime, and Hank Henshaw and Anti-Monitor, and they're not actually gone, and Black Hand. So I think Lou feels it's his favorite event. And
yeah.
Okay,
Gabe, you're in your top 3, maybe your top 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of really think about that now. That's a good question.
I'm gonna say it's my favorite DC event. And I will be the lone dissenter saying you do need the brightest. I'm sorry, you need the full Blackest Night Omni, just because of how much I enjoyed the tie-ins and it fleshes it out. But Gabe's right. Do you really need to know what Superman's doing this whole time? I don't know. I'm a fan of reading everything, which is why I always get those stupid companions to like Age of Apocalypse or Inferno or whatever.
Inferno Prologue, Inferno
which are ridiculous buys. So, okay, Warren Weaver says, oh, Siege is his favorite. Okay.
Yeah, Siege is a good one. That's the one I'm thinking of because all the tie-ins, same with this, all the tie-ins are really good too. They all stick really well.
Okay.
And that's one of the few like events that like lands that sticks to landing in general. Like a lot of these events after this point, they just they just turn into just an event machine, which one after the other, and they don't always stick. Something like Fear itself and things like that. But man, Siege is great.
Yeah.
Blackest Night's great.
So, are we ready to pivot to Halloween candy yet, or do we have any final thoughts on Blackest Night?
My favorite event, and I got to get going actually in like a minute. So
I thought your wife was going to come on and talk about candy.
brother, she is 8.5 months pregnant and knocked out right now. She is out cold.
Okay, well maybe we'll talk about candy Monday night when it's actually Halloween.
All right, but
So
I got to peace out.
I'll have Gio change the title. Okay, where can they find you, Lou?
Comics Guide 101 on Twitter and Comics Guide 101 on YouTube is where you can find an archive of a bunch of my old stuff. It was fun talking to you guys tonight about this.
Good to see you, buddy.
Night, everybody.
Bye, Lou. I think we're going to do Superboy next, right? Is that our next read for November?
Lemire Superboy?
The Lemire Superboy, yeah.
I am happy to reread that. I have it right here. Wait, this is the Lemire.
No, that's the Scott Liddell
Scott
stuff.
Liddell. Where's my...
That stuff is great, though. I really like that.
Oh, yeah, I liked
Superboy.
it, too.
Yeah.
But I thought I had them together. What the... stupid DC things not in order. I thought I had Lemire right here. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to reread that.
Yeah, Superboy sounds fun. I've read those and they were coming out in singles, and that's the last time I read it. But I'm going to go back and reread it again because, like, the Phantom Stranger shows up, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. That was a really good read, so that'd be fun to get back into that.
Matt is a fan of both. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Sinestro Corps War tonight, too.
I don't know. I might not wait because I got to get the other trade paperbacks, Volume 3 and Volume 4, to finish off the run. So maybe, I don't know if I can wait that long. I might just start reading the singles or something online.
Well, we're not going to talk about candy, so I guess we should talk about InStockTrades.com.
Always a good topic to talk about.
Where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. At the end of every month, we give away a $50 gift card courtesy of IST, good for $50 credit at InStockTrades.com. That will be Monday, Halloween, when we give that away. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
I'm looking up to see what they got for Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. That's on In Stock Trades at the moment.
I need to read Injustice. I haven't read it yet.
Man, Jess, there's so many not DC books I have not read. At like everybody's favorite stuff, and I just never got into the superheroes on DC very much. So yeah, that's another one too I wanted to check out.
Yeah, I have to read it.
Yeah, I want to do JSA. I want to do Doom Patrol. I've never read Doom Patrol.
You got a lot of good reading ahead. I haven't even read JSA, and I've been dying to. I read it in singles, but I've forgotten it all.
Yeah, that's the thing with me with like these the Green Lantern stuff right now. It's like I read it all when it was in singles for the most part, but yeah, it's all new again, which is fun. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know this was going to happen, and I realized this is just so great all the way around.
Where can they find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on Instagram. Gabe Loves 90s Comics. So hit me up there.
And you can find me on OmniDogs Vault on YouTube and on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault. And thank you to the chat. This was a really good discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a very involved chat. We even got a super chat before you came on, Gabe, from Jimmy Owens. So that was nice.
Oh, awesome, Jimmy. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Always cool.
And let's see. Thank you to InStockTrades.com. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to my co-hosts. Thank you to everybody that showed up for the chat. Thank you to people watching this afterwards.
Thank you, Jeff Johns.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, for saving DC. Okay, wait. I'm scrolling through all 1,000 things in here trying to find the ending. There it is. Okay. So thanks. Peace and love. Peace and love. We really enjoyed it. Thank you all so much.
Peace.
and love. Like us. Hit the like button.
Follow us on the podcast. We're all avarice. We all know that, right? We all have orange rings.